first started getting breast screenings actually probably when I was still in my 30s, later 35 to 40, because I was starting to find little lumps here and there. Everything was always coming back as benign. There was nothing too serious going on. When I was 42, I actually had a diagnosis of what's called lobular carcinoma in situ, which is it's not really cancer yet, but it's kind of a precursor. It says, okay, Julie, you have a 50% greater chance of getting breast cancer than the average woman. And then in April of this year, when I went in, I not only had a mammogram, I had an ultrasound, I had an MRI, all done in the same day. And so the following Monday, I had a phone call from my doctor, and she didn't even have the report yet from the radiologist. He had just called her and told her that I had a large, highly suspicious area in my right breast, and that I needed to call a surgeon as my next step as to what to do. She said it was highly suspicious as cancer. After a lot of thought and talking with some family, I went ahead with the bilateral mastectomy. That was a big decision, but I felt if I went with a lumpectomy that I would be worrying about it constantly every year. It would be something I would have to deal with always. And I'd already been dealing with it for 10 years. I just didn't want that worry constantly anymore. And then I didn't think about it before, but losing your breasts is a big thing, more than you even think about, because that changes everything for forever. So it's just a challenge. It's a challenge, and I picked up and I moved on. Hardest thing was telling people that I loved. I saved that one for a little while until I actually knew what I was doing, and then having to tell them was extremely difficult, especially my daughters. I didn't want to tell them because moms are always supposed to be strong. They were incredibly strong about it, and I was so afraid that they were going to break down and cry and, "Mom, we don't want to lose you." And maybe they felt that inside, but they were so strong and they rose to the occasion. They came and they were there for me when my surgery, and have helped pick me up. When I got done with radiation, they sent me a big bouquet of flowers and said, "Mom, you kicked it, you did so good." I realized I raised them to be beautiful, strong young women, and that's a blessing all on its own to learn. So getting the news after surgery that my lymph nodes were clear was a huge relief. They had told me before that it was unlikely that it would be, but actually hearing that news that the lymph nodes were clean and there wasn't any major invasive cancer and I wouldn't have to do chemo, those were all huge weight off my shoulders. It was amazing. Awareness is your biggest weapon for it. I think sometimes we doubt ourselves and we'll feel something and we'll look at it and we'll think, well, I don't know what that is, and we ignore it and we wait, and you can't do that. I don't care if you feel foolish for going in and getting something checked. You need to do that. My name is Julie Carlson, and I'm a breast cancer survivor.